Hello and welcome to this English lesson about everyday items, the kinds of things that you see and use every day, or more accurately, the kinds of things I use every day, because this lesson was made by me walking around looking at all the things I use every day. This is part 2. For those of you that haven't watched part 1, I did it back in the fall of 2021. It was called Everyday Items Part 1, and I talked about things like tweezers, something that you use to take a sliver out, or clothespins, which apparently are called clothes pegs over in Britain. But in this lesson, I'm going to talk about, I think, 40 more everyday items, things that you use every day, things that as you go through your day, you just need to have. And again, most of these will be things I use every day. I'm sure most of them are also things that you use every day as well. Anyways, welcome to this English lesson about everyday items, part 2. A water bottle. So yes, I do have a water bottle here. I'm hoping that when I hold things up to the camera will focus. Of course, now it's not working. It was working really well earlier, but I think you can see this. I have started to use a water bottle almost every day. It's kind of nice because it has a lid and you can just flip it open when you want to drink. And this one has a lock here as well, so that if it falls over, it doesn't spill. We're supposed to drink a lot of water. That's a healthy thing to do. So having a water bottle, let's see if it will focus this time around. Nope, the camera just doesn't like the water bottle. Having a water bottle is really handy. In English, when you say something is handy, it means that it's useful. It means that it is something good to have. Water bottles help you stay hydrated. Lunch bag. Do I have a lunch bag? Yes, I have a lunch bag. This is actually a lunch bag from one of my kids. This lunch bag is something that a lot of people take to work or school now. So a lunch bag, it's kind of hard to get it in the frame, isn't it? A lunch bag is something, I'm getting angry with my camera because it's not focusing. It was working so well earlier. What has happened? Anyways, a lunch bag is something that you can take to work or school. In the morning, you make your lunch, and then when you are at work or school, you have your lunch. I'm going to have my lunch at noon today. Do you want to have lunch with me? Do you want to eat lunch together? Those are all common things that you might say if you take a lunch bag to school with you. And then inside, because these lunch bags are insulated, we often have what's called an ice pack. Come on, camera. You can focus, camera. Let me just try something for a second here. I'm not sure why the camera is so stubborn right now. Nope, it's decided it's not going to focus. Let's just forget about that. This is something you put in your freezer, and then you can put it in your insulated lunch bag the next day to keep your food and drinks cool. We have a lot of ice packs in our freezer. Myself and my kids, we all put our ice packs in the freezer at night so that the next day we can put them in our lunch bags and we can keep all of our stuff nice and cool. So it is handy to have an ice pack. Travel mug. Yes, this is my favorite travel mug. You've probably seen this travel mug because I use it during my live streams. The nice thing about a travel mug is it will keep your tea or coffee really hot for a really long time. It's also insulated, so that means that when something hot or cold is inside of it, it stays really warm. I'm just laughing at the chat where Harry's saying the camera likes you more than your stuff. That's pretty accurate. Anyways, a travel mug is handy. A lot of people will make a pot of coffee in the morning and fill their travel mug, and then they will be able to drink from their travel mug while they're driving. They'll most likely put it in a cup holder in their vehicle. Not sure why this one's next, but yes, I do have a box of Kleenex with me. As you can see here, this is made by a company called Scotties, but we call these Kleenex in Canada. I think in most countries, people call these tissues, but in Canada, we call them Kleenex. You use them when you need to blow your nose. Sometimes you have a cold, and when your nose is running, you need to blow your nose because you have lots of snot in your nose. Sorry, there's no other way to describe the stuff that comes out of your nose. We just call it snot. It's one of those English words that really matches the thing that it represents. Snot sounds funny, And it sounds kind of weird, and snot is funny and weird. But yes, you would use a tissue or Kleenex if you needed to blow your nose. Breath mints, I don't have these, but it is quite common for people, especially people who drink coffee, to eat breath mints, not Brent mints, breath mints as they go through their day. Breath mints are usually flavored with peppermint or spearmint or some kind of mint. You can see this one says fresh mint, and they're meant to give you fresh breath. If you've eaten food that gives you bad breath, or maybe you have been drinking a lot of coffee, a breath mint is a good way to have fresh breath, especially if you're a teacher. It's sometimes a good idea because you're talking to students so often. You don't want to be the teacher with bad breath. That's not a good thing. And then we also have chewing gum. Chewing gum is different than breath mints. Chewing gum is something you chew in your mouth. It becomes really soft and chewable as you put it in your mouth and chew it. You don't eat it. You don't swallow it. You chew it, and it has all of the same flavors as breath mints usually. Usually there's mint or peppermint or spearmint, a variety of flavors. I used to chew gum when I was younger, but I don't chew gum anymore. But I do eat breath mints sometimes. So another everyday item, something that's kind of strange, is if you take your pocket, if you pull your pocket inside out, there will be this blue fluffy stuff in your pocket, and we call it lint. Lint is something that just kind of comes off of clothing. It accumulates in your pockets and in other places. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you dry your clothes in a dryer, there will be a little screen that collects the lint. And the reason I'm mentioning lint is because the next item is what we call a lint roller. So this is a lint roller. You can see this lint roller looks exactly like the one over there. You use a lint roller to get lint off of your clothing, but also to get dog hair or cat hair off of your clothing. So we have a lint roller because sometimes Walter and Oscar, our dogs, like to rub against our legs. And if I'm going to work and I'm wearing good clothes, I'll use my lint roller to kind of roll my pant legs in order to remove the dog hair, because I don't want to have dog hair on me when I go to work. Toilet paper tube. Do I have a toilet paper tube? Yes, I have a toilet paper tube. Toilet paper tubes are kind of cool. One of the cool things about toilet paper tubes is that you can make things out of them. And if you're wondering where this came from, it comes from the toilet paper roll. When you're done using a roll of toilet paper, you have what's left on the inside, and it's a toilet paper tube. Kids often use these to build things. Sometimes they'll glue them together and do other things. Sometimes they'll pretend that they're a pirate and this is their telescope. But you definitely run into toilet paper tubes. Definitely an everyday item, in my opinion. Again, this is what's left when you are done using a roll of toilet paper. Ziploc bag. So some people, I want to make sure I don't spill stuff here. Some people use a Ziploc bag when they go to work, when they make their lunch. They will put a sandwich in a Ziploc bag. The reason we don't just call this a plastic bag is because of the top. The top can re-close. I don't know if you can hear that. Let's do this for a second. Ready? So now this bag is closed. In fact, if I put something in it, do I have something small? Yeah, I can put my remote control in it. So if I put my remote control in it and then I close it, then the bag is sealed. It's very handy when you are making your lunch if you have Ziploc bags. Ziploc bags keep your sandwich fresh. So when you get to work or when you get to school, it tastes as fresh as the time you made it in the morning. So that is a Ziploc bag. A notepad. I did have a notepad here somewhere. Here's my notepad. So I keep a notepad by my desk. Usually the notepads I have are from some kind of business that was handing them out. This particular notepad is from the bank. So I went to the bank and they must have given me a notepad. It's so handy having a notepad where you can write things down. If you're wondering where What I do when I have an idea for an English lesson, I quickly write it down on a notepad. I keep one by my computer at home. I keep one by my computer at work. And then usually I add them to a big spreadsheet where I keep all of my ideas. But anyways, notepad, really handy. I think what I use a notepad for the most is to write a grocery list when I go to the grocery store. Milk, eggs, bananas, of course. By the way, thank you to all of you that live in countries that produce bananas. I still eat one every day. They are awesome. A charger. Do I have a charger? Yes. So a charger is one of these fun little devices that plugs in the wall, and then the other end has a spot for usually a USB cable so that you can charge your phone. So that one's on the floor now. So gravity still works in this part of the world. I'll just point to this picture because it kind of rolled away. A charger is something that you use when you want to charge your phone. Maybe you want to charge your e-reader or some other device. You plug it into an outlet, you hook up a charging cable, and you plug in whatever you want to charge. By the way, that's what the prongs look like in Canada. I know they are different in all parts of the world, but that's what they look like here. And then, of course, we have a charging cable, which I was going to show you how this plugs into the charger, but I dropped the charger. We have a lot of these in our house. Of course, a charging cable is what you use to connect your phone to your computer, or you connect your phone to a charger, and then that's how you charge your phone or other devices. When I said we have a lot of these in our house, it's because there are 6 people living here, and there are a lot of devices in our house. So we have a lot of charging cables and chargers all over the place. An egg carton. So this might seem like an odd one, but yes, I do have an egg carton here. The reason I put this on the list of everyday items is because I eat an egg or 2 every morning. So not only do I eat bananas, but I do like having an egg in the morning. Sometimes I eat a boiled egg. Sometimes I eat a fried egg. Sometimes I eat a scrambled egg, which is the same as frying it, but you mix it up. Sometimes I have my eggs sunny side up or over easy. There are many ways to make eggs. I could probably do a whole lesson on it, but I'm not going to. Anyways, an egg carton usually holds a dozen eggs. A dozen would mean 12 eggs, but they do have egg cartons now that hold 6, so smaller ones for people that don't eat as many eggs as me. Ant traps. Yes, I have ant traps here. I wish the camera would focus because then you could see them a lot more clearly. But the camera, should I force it to focus? Can I do that? Oh no, that's not focus. Now I'm really messing things up. What should I do? Click this? No, don't click that. We'll see. You shouldn't mess around with the camera during a live stream. Hopefully everything's still working. It says ant baits, but we call them ant traps. But they don't actually trap the ants. Inside of here, or inside of those, there's usually a poison that will kill ants. And usually what the ants do is they take what's inside here back to the colony, and then somehow it kills most of the ants. So we call them ant traps, but they don't actually trap ants. They actually just give them something to eat that isn't good for them. So I'm sure if you live somewhere where there's a lot of ants, you probably use these. We certainly do here. I'm dropping things now. We certainly do here in the spring and in the fall. And then, of course, there are mouse traps. We use mouse traps. We have a mouse problem. We do live out in the country. I think there might be more mice in the country. And we often have mice in our house. So we do set mouse traps. It's not a nice thing to do because it's sad for the mouse when he tries to eat the cheese. But for sure, we have a lot of mice in the spring, especially. When I say a lot, I mean like 5 or 10 every spring somehow move into our house, and then we use the mouse traps in order to catch them. And then Alexa or Google Home. I don't know if you guys have one of these devices in your house. We have a few of these. This is a Google Home. We also have what's called an Alexa. It has a different name, but we just call them Google Homes or Alexas. This is the device where you can say, okay, Google, play a song